Hello and welcome back to Kurogor Studios Remnant Lunar Archon Session 94. Our beatboxer here tonight is Chris. Um, Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a pretty good one. Music got a little bit aggressive right out the gate. Let's turn you down. Good job, Castlevania, but a little high volume. He still was on my side. Hopefully it sounds good on YouTube side. However, it is time. D4. We're waiting on someone, so hopefully it gets a 1, 2, or 4. Got 3, so I have to re-roll, because Jocelyn can't give it again. Chris, would you like to give the recap? Assuming I'm remembering the right people?
Sure. Let's see if I do a good job. All right. So, um, after successfully defeating the hags and attempting to rescue their wards, we'll say, we have since communicated with some of our more powerful and friendly allies to help us work some things out. Ron going through a bit of emotional, mental stress turmoil as to his state of being, and everyone else kind of taking the lead. And we've been heading our way back to town. And we ask the Lord Lady Librarian, Sasha Hellion, to help us with the best course of action. And in a moment of possible vulnerability, Garand mentioned that he was missing Rusty, the cybernetic merchant lady. So it's been an interesting road. It seems like there may be an issue with the eldest of the rescuees, but we are attempting to try to circumvent that as best as possible and or help them to a prosperous and righteous path. Aside from that, I'm not sure. So hopefully I did okay.
Good enough for me. You did find the a banquet in the forest with a cake that, when eaten, petrifies you.
Oh, I
A
forgot.
bunch of other magical effects as well. After arriving, Sasha destroyed the table after moving all of the individuals who are currently turned to stone. There are, which are 10, as you have brought back Fabian, a very not really scoundrel, piratey looking guy that apparently is a bit of a thief, and Findale, a half-elf sorceress who has no method to unfreeze or unpetrify the people, but y'all brought her back thinking she might be able to help. She could not. I don't think you brought anyone else back, so there are currently still 10 statues that, last we left off, the party had kind of been deciding what to do, and really whether or not to try to send one or more of the children with Sasha. That she is going to take back the stone people, and hopefully over time be able to return them back to mortal form. But it's up to the party what you would like to do. And I believe y'all were discussing whether or not to send the children. However, everyone had their earrings muted, which resulted in a very quiet conversation. Lack thereof. Oh, and it is Thursday, the 6th of July, year 417, post-schism at 11 a.m.
Yeah, Garon's just almost like mindlessly just petting Jackie and just kind of sitting with her while everybody's talking, and he seems responsive if people ask him questions, but otherwise seems way more disinterested and detached than normal.
Does Gambit lead the children over to where the noise of the thunder wave was? Or shatter, rather.
He'd probably be like, is it all clear now? I'm done with these kids. Can I come?
That's awesome. Is anybody muted?
Currently, both Jack and Maury are.
Okay, well, the one person who could respond because he's not muted is not going to because he's not fully present. So until one of them, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just eating dinner.
Fair enough.
Unacceptable.
Yes, Gambit, it's clear.
Okay.
Gambit approaches in tow of 4 children. Who are all these people? Julie says.
I don't know.
Is Sasha still here?
She is.
This is the wizard lady we were telling you about.
Hello. I see. And you can teach us how to do magic? It is, yeah, there's Julie and Judy. With Judy being the... Yes, the annoying one. But Judy will run up and start talking to people. Asking random questions to people that have just unfrozen from petrification. Julie looks around. Is this... Statue Garden?
It's a dinner party.
There's not a lot of dinner to go around. She says, looking at the scraps
thank
thrown
goodness.
into trees and...
Yeah, the dinner party didn't really end well.
So... Are we gonna keep hiking?
I don't know, guys. What's our plan? Are we gonna be able to teleport out of here, or are we walking?
Well, I can teleport. The question was whether or not you wanted to take the children back to town, I believe.
Oh, I guess maybe the kids should decide.
Welcome back, Sam, John.
Thank you.
The party has reawoken to the consciousness of the location and discussing whether or not the children are going back with Sasha. They've been led up by Gambit, who just said the children should decide. What do y'all think?
What do you think, Sasha?
I think it would probably be best for the children to come with me so I can make sure they're well cared for.
I agree.
Insight check. I mean, it's not much of an insight check. You kind of know what she was talking about a second ago. Of the potential for things to go bad with them. She means, like, keep a close eye. She wants to make sure they don't turn evil or into a hag or something.
Yeah.
You're gonna make sure they're okay, right?
If I can. I'll do everything in my power.
I mean,
Yeah, then-
I don't think that's an accurate representation of the situation, Sam. I feel like we like legitimately look to her as like almost more or less our unofficial patron at this point.
That's fair.
We spent a lot of time in that city, and like we helped bail her out, and she helped us like understand some stuff and get us some places. I really feel like more than any other like leader person, I feel like we've connected with her the most. But
Sasha is mother.
Asking
Mhm.
Sasha.
For
Okay, for context, people watching the stream, I was confused for a second too. Sam sent a message in Discord. Love how Sasha is just really us asking is just us really asking the DM to get rid of these children, which is an option. She could just take the children.
I think she should.
Grand like half-heartedly says, yeah, I mean, I think eventually they need to talk to the folks to at least hash out their emotional whatevers, but I think at the moment with everything else, having someone like Sasha to look over them is a great thing. She was able to look over us and help us, and I don't see why she couldn't do that with them as well. So, hopefully that is not too much of a problem for you, young people. But she is quite capable. You should put faith in her. And yeah, all right. And he just goes back to petting Jackie.
Well, children,
Where should we bring the statues?
bring them all close together as possible, so I can teleport. It should take 2 teleportations, one to get as many statues as possible, and then the other to get the rest of us. Unfortunately, you all have to stay here. I don't have...
That's fine.
Enough
I want to
magic.
go see that couple to see if she disintegrated when we killed the hags.
I'm sorry, what?
Wasn't there like a really old lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sasha doesn't know anything about that. I'm sorry, what?
Oh. Oh, no, there was just a lady that we talked to, and the hags had put a spell on her, and I want to see if she's okay.
I do hope she hasn't disintegrated. That sounds less than pleasant.
Yeah, me too. She was really nice.
Don't speak about her like she's already dead. She was really nice. Well, before she died.
In spite of himself, I think Garon would crack a little half smile at Sasha's attempt to try to be like lightening the mood in a way.
Ticket, you with the insight, I'll say it also tells you Julie's kind of hesitant, but isn't stopping from going with Sasha. And she will drag the rug she's been carrying this whole way over to the spot for the teleportation.
Garon,
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say, Garon's just gonna like go through the motions and slowly start to help get the statues in order for the teleportation.
It'll take a minute, but between Doug's strength and the others helping out as best they can, because these are quite heavy. They are human-sized density statues, which when a human of this size, we'll say 200 pounds, turn it all to stone.
Oh yeah,
It's not the lightest thing. It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
But working together, you can do it.
Yeah, Garon's only average anyway, so yeah.
Assuming you all allow this, everyone will be gathered. Sasha will pull out her broom and gently begin to sweep around the group, to which Findale will look quizzically at, not really understanding what's happening, and then 8 of the statues disappear in the cloud of dust that is her teleportation spell. A minute later, as she finishes up looking toward all of you, best of luck getting back. I won't have any more teleportation today.
No, thank you for your help. Appreciate it.
I'll take good care of them, and I'll let you know if anything occurs.
Should we go back to... Where is she going back to? Vacuum or Vane?
Vane. She's taking
Vane.
back to her place. Her in the Grand Library.
Should we go back to Vane when we can to help with the unfreezing?
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
It would certainly be helpful if you can do it without expending materials.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that soon Thicket can get us all sorts of places quickly.
I don't know how soon that would be.
Oh, Garon doesn't understand the whole problem with experience points. He has no idea. He just knows that we're pretty powerful now, and so surely it's not much longer. Surely it's not going to be much longer to get 20,000 XP.
Who knows? Maybe Garand will be able to get us around places.
Who knows?
Hilarious. That'd be hilarious.
As she finishes this, the cloud of dust rises up, and the party is once again left alone in the woods.
And now I'm lost in the woods.
Way better song than it deserves. I know so many people didn't like it in the movie. It was hilarious.
I like the idea of having a song that is a nice 80s power ballad. I don't like that they completely stripped it of the sacrificial meaning of those songs back then and instead turned it into a simp meaning. No, he's not he's a good singer. That guy's actually a professional. I'm talking about you're thinking the other one, that what's her name sings. No, Lost in the Woods is
It's definitely more of a fun song than a story song.
No.
Sure.
I know. You guys are Frozen 2 fans. It's fine. I'm not. It's cool.
It's a fun song.
I'm not a Frozen 2 fan. I
thought
just like
you were.
Lost in the Woods.
Oh.
No, production was doomed from the start.
Okay. All right.
The only thing I remember of that movie is Into the Unknown.
Okay, so I gotta say,
literally,
I quite like
I have
the sound.
thoughts about Frozen 2, so
when we
talk
get to
about that
break,
later.
we'll do that. For now, suffice it to say, there's conversation to be had, so stick around. You are left alone. Scattered pieces of cake, lobster and otherwise, spread throughout the clearing. Thicket having... What is it, a pouch? No, you had like a little box, I think, for cake. That you have a single piece of cake in, and then you stuff the cake ugly style into a bottle.
I free Mason from the portable hole.
What's that?
Oh yeah, there he is. Hey, buddy. He can't understand me though, right?
No, he cannot.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, just tell him I said hey. Hey, Easy, are you still around? You're alive? You with us, mate?
You get a sudden smell of tacos. The
That's
scent
good.
wafts into the area.
What's with all the food?
I don't know.
Human food planet?
Important question. Does Thicket have a primordial pouch?
Pardon?
I'm not sure.
Is that a magic item, or are you talking about...
It's
No.
cat
Mason?
anatomy.
It is something that a cat has.
It's cat
It's a-
anatomy.
It's a little it's a if you
It's
ever
the
seen them with
flabby
their
skin underneath.
on their
Oh.
belly.
I see. I don't know. That's up to you. That's up to you. Molly. I ain't making that anatomical decision for you. I mean, he
never
seems a
thought
little...
about it.
He does seem a little bottom heavy, except for his head, which is very top heavy. But, like, in the
He
shape
could
of his
put
body,
Mason in there.
he is very egg-shaped. I think it is. He probably costs more than an egg, too. See, that's a joke that's going to be dated as soon as the eggs go down in price.
If they go down.
At some point, probably. I hope.
I hope, please.
To be fair, they are down from a month ago
That is
by a couple
Fair
cents.
enough. But anywho, what would the party like to do? It is about noon o'clock on Thursday afternoon.
Noon o'clock.
That's what I said.
So we still have to find our way out of this forest.
Yeah.
But Thicket can find the way, and I don't think it's going to be fighting us anymore. I'm pretty sure that part's over, so... Thicket, if you will.
Darble, a survival check?
check. Yeah. It's got a lower DC now. You can still fail it, technically. But you have to roll pretty low to fail it, actually, for you in particular now. See, previously, when the hags were there, exerting influence, that would have failed. Which direction are you trying to go?
Home
Which direction's that?
No, we're, try-
or south?
we're trying to go to town. So,
Yes.
Southeast-ish.
Yes. You continue heading south through the woods. As you get a little bit farther, is there anything you want to do while you all walk?
books are way better. Gron's like paying extra attention to Jackie, and when he's not trying to make sure that she's like legit within like 2 feet of him, he's like clocking for threats.
Go ahead and make a perception check. Everyone else, what's your passives?
Pass it like perception.
Yeah?
Not great.
Find that.
What does it
24.
say?
13.
It should be on your main page,
Mhm.
next
I
to
got
your
it.
senses, perception.
Yeah,
that
I
dot
found it.
number.
14.
13.
24.
So Garon and Thicket,
Nice.
with Thicket hearing it first, as your ears perk up. Though actually, Gambit should have. Gambit can make an actual
can
proper
smell.
roll with advantage.
Okay.
Wait, no, yeah, you smell, don't you? Never mind.
Yes.
I thought you heard for a
Oh,
second.
yeah, he totally smells. That
No.
guy's so smelly.
I mean, you've
Yep.
all been in a swamp for a week, so well, not a week, like 2 days.
Get out of my swamp.
I mean, the Froghemoth wants you to go. But I think you are the first to hear a very loud buzzing sound. Like large insects up above the trees, getting closer.
It's a beetle.
Wrong universe.
Or is it?
Or is it just a beetle? You never know with me.
You
Okay,
really
that-
don't.
All right. Well, Garon immediately does like a protective, like fatherly motion to Jackie, and kind of like steps like kind of over her so that she's like effectively under him between his legs, and says, "Stay, girl, stay." And he is readying a Eldritch Blast at anything that looks remotely threatening, coming their way.
And the rest of you? Or rather, Thicket,
Has-
didn't tell anyone?
Pass without a trace.
Did you guys?
Something's coming. We should be quiet.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay,
Is that the choice? Is everyone going to be quiet?
Yes.
and hide?
John's gonna
I need
pull his scimitar. Just
I
being
need
ready.
everyone to make stealth checks with a +10 bonus.
A plus
and-
10.
Yep,
Yeah.
because
Yup.
passing
Hey.
without a trace by Thicket.
That was a very nice cast.
Mm-hmm.
Pass without
Clutch.
trace is really solid.
You gotta love that 30. Let's go.
Thank goodness for the plus 10.
Jack,
39.
I need a stealth check from Douglas.
39. Oh, you didn't put the 10.
Is that right?
If you didn't put the 10 in there,
Well- Yeah.
I think 13 is your normal, though.
13 is my normal, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's
so
39.
39.
Yes, so you got a 39.
That's crazy.
No one has ever seen Gambit. You don't know what you're talking about when someone mentions Gambit. The children
Wait,
forget that
did-
Gambit was there.
Did we know someone named
The
Gambit?
children are gone.
The children's memories of Gambit are gone. They don't even know what you're talking about. But as the buzzing gets closer, as it gets very close, I need everyone to also make wisdom saving throw. I think it's wisdom. Let me double check.
Oh no, are they grim? But it's in the middle of the day.
DC 10
Yeah.
wisdom saving throws. Saving
But they
throws.
could've- Like waiting for a chance to strike and unable the Fey magic.
throw
So,
them at you.
Yay! Yay!
let's see it. Let's see it.
Thicket saves, Gambit saves,
Mhm.
Doug saves. Garon needs to make a wisdom save. Does succeed.
And
Oh, well,
John, does John save?
Is your
John,
wisdom different with a save instead of a check?
Oh, I did a shoot. I didn't roll a saving. I just rolled from the.
Is your wisdom
Left
any
side,
more
right side.
than...
It's just a plus 1. So what I rolled is accurate.
Cool. Because my check is a +5, but my save is a +9.
Mine is not different, no. Not on that one.
As up above, you see these large wasp-like creatures.
It
They're
is a beedrill.
dark.
It is a
Skin.
beedrill.
Their dark skin surrounded by this shell, this bug-like chitin of this white, really not bug-like chitin, more bone-like, but still in chitinous shape, with red markings, these large red eyes, each of these things easily the size of a person, with these large red wings sprouting from their back and claw-like appendages coming from their sides. You see a number of these begin flying overhead.
We haven't fought
Oh,
any in
wonderful.
so long. Hey, is this a new day, Micah?
This is a new day that the Lord has made. What do you mean now? Like you
For
take
an
a long
opera-
rest.
For
It's a
an
new day.
Oh, for Navo? I guess it is at dawn, so sure. Officially.
Poor guy, he's trying to plan a war and we keep interrupting him.
True, you do. He's in the middle of a whole thing. He's got his own quest going on. That's what happens when you're a lord.
He keeps getting isekai'd.
He does. Keeps getting isekai. As they swarm up above, you almost see what looks like larger ones too within the swarm, but it's hard to tell. But as some of them continue flying around, scattering throughout the forest, some of them, it appears, stick around as they fly around looking for something.
Interesting.
As they seem to slowly begin to sort of close in on your location.
Are they looking for us?
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, can we make like an insight on that? Because
Make an insight check.
Uh,
As John, you feel a little bit of fear, anxiety at the sound. Bugs aren't the most pleasant thing. You realize it does seem they are looking for you.
I think they are looking for us.
Anyone who wants to can make a religion check. Though Gambit, I think, has already figured out what's going on.
Religion.
I did.
I
Yeah.
don't know anything.
You
says he
them.
thinks so.
So can I roll religion again with advantage?
Yeah.
In case I forgot?
Sure.
In case.
I mean, you have already mentioned it once. You picked it out immediately when I made you make wisdom saving throws. Of course you do. You've had to hide from Grim before. Grim is known to be able to sense emotions. And so one thing that you practiced was being able to relax your emotions when hiding, because if you fail, like, mechanically, if you fail the wisdom saving throw, you fail to hide from them.
Oh.
They can sense you even if they can't see you. They're known to track down
Garand?
strong emotions. Garand, you also know this.
Ron,
Okay.
you have to chill out.
Yeah,
What-
Garon basically glares daggers at Gambit. Like, don't say that again until I'm ready to hear it. Like that. I mean, there's like no doubt about that. There is 100% intimidation of any kind of faction. So whatever Gambit does with that is whatever. But 100%, there's no doubt in Gambit's mind that he's like daggers.
But, okay. I don't think you understand the gravity of the situation.
So you need a moment alone in the portable hole.
The daggers get more daggery. I don't know what to tell.
Pickett, do you have calm emotions?
No, I don't.
No! Gambit starts to get worked up and he's like, wait a second. Breathing.
They get,
Wait,
Circular breathing.
Inner peace.
Circular breathing.
they're getting closer.
Peace.
They're getting closer as you see a number of them, including some rather large variants that have, more arms, more wing. I mean, actually, not really more wings, but they're bigger. They're scarier, badder. They're by comparison pretty huge, or quite large, that are also along
Okay.
with this swarm flying around.
Ooh.
We aren't entertaining the idea of fighting these things, are we?
They look really strong.
We're trying not to, but Karan won't calm down.
Honestly, Garon needs a win right now, so myrtleizing these things would be great for Garon. But us all, TPK.
I love that you're
we play
saying
Star
all
Wars
this when Garand succeeded on a wisdom save and he is keeping himself chill enough. Over here, John's having
Yeah.
anxiety, and is not, with no one the wiser.
Yeah, well,
Christmas.
I know.
But I mean the papers. Now I can't find them.
That's fine.
Is there anything anyone would like to do as they get close to discovering you?
Can we surprise them?
You can certainly try.
Okay.
Effectively, do we all just be like, just get him? Do we like it's that sort of thing? Like,
You can initiate combat.
But do they look really strong? Can Gambit
With that
roll
religion
like insight or
check,
something
roll another religion
to
check.
see with
See
advantage
what
or
you
not?
know about Lancer Grim.
Probably not.
can Garon see if he knows, but also see if he there also might be an additional roll to see if he cares.
Okay.
I can't move other people with me using tree stride, can I?
Nope. So Garand, whether you care or not, physically they're kind of strong. Their wing beats are pretty solid. The smaller lancers that are about human sized can be a threat, especially to unprepared people. But so I guess you know two main things. One is that while they are physically dangerous, their chitinous skin is actually fairly brittle and can be destroyed, though they do, like all Grim, have resistance to non-magical attacks. They're not the most bulky of Grim, for sure.
Alright, so trigger the meme from It's Always Sunny, and I just started blasting.
I guess the other thing you know is that with that roll, you know that Lancers in general are known for being able to extend and shoot out their tail spines to pierce into things and draw them back in like a harpoon,
Ooh, nice,
dragging enemies.
nice,
Lovely.
very spicy, very very spicy.
With everyone ready for combat, I'm just going to go ahead and share a map and add the Lancers to, as y'all have an area you can select, you can put yourselves in if you'd like for where you would have been. So let me go ahead and bonk, share, place. You can decide anywhere on that small little island there in the center where you'd like to be hiding. You are in a swampy area, so there is water around, but anywhere within that spot that you'd like to start, as they are kind of coming from all directions surrounding.
What a
Nice.
good day to be immune to poison.
Yay.
Looks over at Gambit, who is not.
All right, so what's our range of where we can be? Because I have to be honest, that took a while to load.
Anywhere on this
Yeah.
small island you're all standing on.
Oh, okay,
Basically anywhere in
all
there.
right. Garand is going to be over here, and with Jackie, like in the trees as well.
Gambit's gonna ready a sneak.
I'm going to unlock y'all for a second so you can move as you please.
Where are the bugs?
Surrounding the area. Up about...
Everywhere.
Yeah, kind of everywhere around the spot where you are.
And
Yeah,
Why
if
did
you-
one of
if
them
you can put 'em
auto die? Did it somehow roll 0 hit points? That makes no sense.
Can you put them on the map so that I can try to get them in a shatter radius?
Okie doke, I will unhide them.
Can Grim die of old age naturally?
No, actually, they
Not.
can't. Well, I guess no one really knows, though you know that there are Grim that have been known to be old, and like sometimes Grim will basically patrol an area. And will get extremely large as they get older. Like these Queen Lancers are probably just old Lancers. They're known to continually get bigger. You're also.
I think for this
it's also unclear.
Doug is going to be in
whether
the
or not
tree with
they
his.
naturally die, because people have done experiments, but they can harm. But like anytime they capture a Grim, it just dies. Whether it has food, water, anything. If it stays in captivity, it dies. But they've been observed in Drax for days and had no issue and never ate or drank anything, but they stayed alive. So roll your initiatives, boyos. So I'll transition us to combat. Are you all where you'd like to be? Morgan Gambit might need to change position.
Whoa! I rolled
I rolled high for
that.
once too.
20s.
Who has the better dex there?
That's so
Look
great.
at that. Good job.
Wow.
Second.
Doug, Thicket, and I all rolled the same initiative.
Well, Garand is over there, far too distracted by his dog.
Yep. A boy and his dog.
Are y'all where you want to be?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone can maintain their current stealths. Except for poor
These things
Boya.
better be weak, because there's so many of them.
We're gonna die.
As...
How are we going to work out the whole thing of like finding out that it was Sam that they were after and not Garon? How are we going to figure that out? Because it'll be a really good reveal to be like Sam was the one that was tripping out.
Is
John.
Not my business, so y'all figure it out.
Well, I mean, maybe they're all flying in his direction versus following to like Garon's direction. Maybe that would be the reason. I don't know.
Also, I swapped to one that doesn't have an animation, so it's not so abrasive. Let's see. What is the range on your...
That might just be dramatic irony.
Yeah.
Something that we, the players, know, but our
20.
characters might not be
That's
able
fair.
to figure out.
That's fair.
Is going to descend 20 feet because its spines and everything actually have a relatively low range. It is going to... From here... How do I get you to... If I lock tokens, then
Wait,
I can...
the big ones can harpoon you in, or just the little ones?
Both!
I think both.
Oh,
I think both is what
As it is going to
What I rolled.
immediately fly over here above the trees and is going to fire several spine attacks and a harpoon at John.
why?
Spine attack.
Bro.
Misses.
Miss.
Second spine attack. As you see, rather than just from the
Dang it, that hits.
talons on the end, let me actually pull back up the picture so I can make sure I say this correctly and remember exactly what I'm talking about. You see those spines on the back along the back shell. As it turns, those fire outward toward you. The second one hits, and you take some piercing and necrotic damage as this bone-like blade slashes against you. You manage to pull up your aura and successfully deflect it into the ground, but it's fairly fast and dangerous. Then it turns and fires its harpoon stinger at you. Aha!
Well, that hit.
That's a hit. Takes some damage. Let me make sure I've got this right. Da-da-da-da.
I need to check.
Okie doke, so you take 6 points of damage from it itself, and you're making a con save.
Wonderful.
You succeed, and I don't think... Let me double check. You take
Oh,
half or no poison
rolled it for
damage? Half. That's much. Yeah, I don't know why it auto-rolled. But there's half the poison damage. As you take 11 reduced to 5. as the stinger pierces toward you and actually manages to catch onto your leg, piercing through some of your clothes or your bag. And you are now grappled.
Mm-mm.
Wonderful. What does grappled do?
Keeps you from moving,
Oh, that's it? Okay, cool.
pretty much.
You can dim door step out of that, by the way.
Yeah, Dem Door
You
can...
can what?
The Dimension Door can shift you
Oh.
out of it, but
Fair.
grappled. There you go. Yes, it
And it
removes
took
your
down
movement.
half my health. One turn. That's
it did.
amazing.
Doug, it's your turn. You are currently hidden. None of them see any of you except for poor old John, because he failed a wisdom save.
I mean, how do you expect us to get 20k XP so fast so that he can have Maury be able to teleport us?
Wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, Doug is going to cast Dawn as his action, or which I think that's the one with all the damage, right?
Nope. The other one.
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone over this a few times. You always say Dawn first, and no, it's... Wait. No, I'm wrong,
No.
because you so often say it correctly, and then I think of daylight, and then I'm wrong, and I look silly. You're right. Where would you like your... What is it, 30-foot radius? Yeah, 30-foot radius cylinder. Which, fortunately, these
let's-
guys are all about 20 feet in the air. Where do you want your 30-foot radius cylinder at?
Good.
Right here?
Absolutely not.
Micah, you're on one, bro.
Actively trying to kill us at this point.
Can you just
Yeah.
move? Can you just move it away from? I mean, you can put it on us. Just move it away from the big guy, so it just hits us.
Fair. Okay. Like
Yeah,
right
just
about
a little
a bit
down
more.
and- yeah.
Grab. There you go. Like right there. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, but actually, where you want it?
Is
But
this
no-
the one that we go
Right over
blind
here.
if we are in?
No.
Yeah,
This is the one that's daylight.
They're
If you're
just
in or
both-
next to.
If
Oh, I see.
They're being ridiculous.
It's
Yeah.
like shining a
Yeah.
divine light flashlight
Divine
at
light.
a divine
Yep, but it comes from the
vampire.
earth.
Concentrated power of the sun.
The of the sun.
But yeah, if you'll
Minion.
place it from, I guess around
Remember,
Lancer.
you can spacebar and double click to ping somewhere.
Space bar and double click.
Yep.
Did you see it?
No, but I might have my combat tracker might have been over it. Go again.
It's not working. Space bar double.
You could right and left click and draw an arrow to point to the place.
Right and left click. That's not working.
That's definitely not what was intended. I'm just gonna tell you, no, you can't move off the map 380 feet.
Let's just say if you can get Queen Lancer 1, Queen Lancer 16, 10, Lancer 5, and potentially 11.
Okay, so you want
So like the top right corner.
let me select the circle. Come on.
Can you move that out of the way, Jack? Like, can you move that around, or is it like once you do it, it's there?
Once
move
I
it.
put what?
He can, as an action, I believe, move it. That's how he was able to
Nice.
have it follow the boat when y'all were fighting the Leviathan, or the whatever it was that was in the water. So you want it like here?
Nice.
Yeah.
There's a burst of light in that location. Go ahead, target them all, and make the saves.
Okay. Target.
I'm gonna draw a circle in blue, because blue's my color.
Where did my
Spell should be on your action tab.
No, I'm trying to actually find my sheet. There it is.
And I believe to target, you can control and then click on each of them. and then you'll be able to roll the save against all of them at the same time, and then damage against all of them at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. Control click. Control click.
He's done it!
Did that work?
It did!
He's too.
He's too
And then-
powerful!
And now I can make the save.
And now you should be able to... I think you can drag and drop that. Yeah, perfect. Now they will roll. Okay, I think unfortunately I don't have the overlays because it was causing issues. But Queen Lancer 16 succeeds, Lancer 5 succeeds, Queen Lancer 1 and Lancer 10 both fail. You should be able to go ahead and roll damage, and they will take half if they're supposed to take half, and not if they're not. As the light bursts upward, as y'all have seen this a number of times before, as he pierces the blade into the ground, there is a small fissure in the ground that goes underneath the water, creating several cracks around the whole area, and then light bursts upward in that cylinder, burning into the Queen Lancers, that as they pull back from it, kind of trying to move almost upward to escape. One of these small Lancers is completely obliterated by this as it covers them in light. They just actually burn up, and you see them turn to ash, basically instantly from the radiant damage. The other one is looking hurt, as it is also trying to kind of flee the flame, or the light, but he's still alive. Looks like saving did enough to keep him down.
And then my bonus action.
You're also no longer hidden.
Why not?
Because you did an action that made you cast a spell and shoot light out.
Well, the spell doesn't say. What does it say? Oh,
No,
I guess
but
I
the
do.
hidden
cast a-
condition
I
ends
do.
when you cast
Whenever
a
you
spell.
cast a spell yourself,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
spells that say this doesn't break stealth, but yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can make
but I've done
arguments,
that,
but in
and-
this case, the answer is no. Your bonus action, you were saying.
yeah, my bonus action will be to manifest an echo, just kind of like hovering. Let's just say in front of the tree of where I was, like on the north side, just to kind of get attention away from me. And then I will switch, now that I'm concentrating on like the dawn, switch to my
Switch to your double blade. Or your great sword. It's Jackie's turn.
I was thinking the bow, but I can do this sword because I have the echo, so let's just do this sword.
I'll
Jackie
say,
will stand in...
girl,
Oh,
protect the tree. Protect the tree.
make an animal handling check.
I want her out of this fight. Like, it's so ridiculously badly. Maybe.
She will step in front of you and spread her paws in a defensive stance, growling toward the Queen Lancer upward, as if to defend you.
Good. Her heart and her attitude is in the right space. As long as she's not like something that they would target, that's good.
It's actually been pretty known that Grimm are almost entirely indifferent to animals. They only care about sentient creatures. John, you've been skewered a little bit.
Yeah. I'm going to retaliate in turn.
You're gonna skewer it? Go for it.
Huh?
You're gonna skewer it?
Yeah.
Well, not quite that much.
Not exactly in turn. More like in Dosido.
Why does it go from 5 foot to right to 20 foot radius? Hold up.
Don't know.
Is it radius or 10-foot radius? So yeah, that.
That is. It's being
Well,
really
10-foot
weird.
radius would be 4 squares. That is being weird. Yeah, so 20-foot diameter.
So, yeah, it's a 10. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with that particular circle, but that's what actual 10-foot radius should be. Even if it says 20 feet, it's going 2 squares outward from the center. So,
Yeah. So I'm going to do that. Put Shatter right there at level 4.
all right, I'd say since it is a radius, it's just barely enough, even though Queen Lancer 1 is slightly higher in the air. Go ahead and target both of them. Make them make the save.
Alrighty. How do I target again? So just
Control,
control
click.
it. That. Boom.
Maury is right. I should let y'all do more of your things. I can tell you how if you want help, but I'm going to let you do it.
So I have to drag what, the little save thing onto them? Right? Or I just have to click it, don't I?
I
Correct.
find
Oh.
clicking buttons is fun.
Clicked.
Clicking buttons
That do it.
is fun. They
Neither
both
of them
fail.
saved.
They both
Yeah,
fail.
sorry.
They both roll nat 7s.
Alright, so this is level 4.
There is the burst
that's
of
nice.
this energy outward, tearing at their wings, and especially the shells, causing cracks to immediately appear. It does not release the grapple that 16 has on you, but it does heavily damage 1 and does do pretty good damage to 16. It looks like 16 is a little bit bulkier than 1 is. Naturally, somehow. This is known as variable hit points.
Alright. And then let's see, can I do anything with my bonus? Don't.
You can bonus, you cannot move.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. What I can even do with my bonus. I'm gonna light up my sword with my bonus. Call it that.
Fair enough. Take it.
Try to intimidate him. Fire!
Hope 16 gets another.
Okay. I have several options, and I don't know what to decide on.
Do any of them involve lightning?
Um,
I'm pretty certain one does, but I was just asking for fun. And because
that is one of the options.
lightning is a fun word to say. So, yeah.
Can you guys do ranged attacks?
I can.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I just proved I could.
Trying to decide if we need Earthbind. Echo, stop.
Could be
Oh my
good.
gosh.
How much damage does Shatter normally do?
3d8.
3d8.
In
So I
that
cast
case,
it at level 4.
Chris is right. You should do one more d8 of damage.
Really?
Yep. Because it's one extra d8 per level if it's already at 3 and you cast it at 4 and it's a second level spell. Then an extra d8 for third and an extra d8 for fourth
Oh, I did not
level.
realize it was a second level spell, so yeah, it should be another one, shouldn't it?
Okay, go ahead and just roll another one and I'll apply it to them.
And
Yeah.
every little bit counts because forget these guys. Honestly, Garon needs to win. He needs to feel like, yeah, we completely dominated something.
Okay. I'm gonna do Call Lightning.
Where are you going to target?
Yeah! Go think it, go.
So first off, gotta get rid of Pass Without a Trace.
Drop
Don't
concentration.
need that anymore.
Did that extra 5 do anything?
It
Bad
hurt
to
them
them?
both. It didn't kill either. But it hurt them both.
Okay.
Okay. What's the weather like?
I believe it was clear when we checked last time. Yes, I recall it being clear day.
Yeah, it was a clear day.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
rain and thunderstorms are not as common during the summer as you might expect. Now, if you ask me in spring,
Or fall. Or if we were in a more temperate zone. Because right now we're kind of in a more deciduous type.
this is accurate. But unfortunately, there are no clouds above.
Okay, I'm rereading the spell real quick. One sec.
Okie dokie. It's about to be like 3 lancers too. Great.
Okay. So, is there a way I can cast it on the Queen Lancer 16 without hitting John?
Yes,
I'm gonna do that.
because it's only a 5-foot radius and it's effectively a cone. So you could easily drop it like right there, or right
Drop it
here,
like-
or even straight on top of it and still miss him.
Buzz, 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 buzz.
Buzz,
You know,
nat one.
Woo!
realize we're fighting both Beedrill and Vespiquen. That is important to note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have done that in my old campaign. There was once when they were trying to clean out an old bathhouse that they purchased. As thicket, clouds begin to come up from the sky, as has happened before, at a 120-foot radius around you. And I don't remember what you do. Is there anything special you do, or just lightning just kaboom?
We could say my eyes glow.
Its eyes glow a light blue color.
You
And
feel
then-
static in the air.
It's static and smell ozone burning in the air. And a moment later, lightning
Ozone,
strikes
no!
down,
Everyone
piercing
hold your breath.
through the Queen Lancer. Not killing it, but it is doing pretty bad, pretty fast. Not in a good way.
So I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I have a spell regulator.
Uh-huh.
Which means I can okay, it says if you are attuned to this item and you have an active spell with an effect that can be triggered as an action, you can instead trigger the effect as a bonus action. Am I able to hit it again with my bonus action?
So I would say no, because the wording of instead, and also my intent when I made it, was that you do it instead of your action.
Okay.
So not this turn, but easily next turn. You can pop
But I
it again.
can
and
next
still
turn?
yes, you can still pop it again next turn and still use an action.
Oh.
Not this turn, but next turn, yes, you'll be good.
So I can't do it twice next turn either.
No.
Good to know.
And it's still restricted to once per turn, I think. That still seems fair. Lancer 5 is
Oh,
going to...
That would have been really overpowered.
Yeah, I'm generous. I am not... let's see. It's gonna... From its 20 feet in the air, it is now aware of Ticket, John,
Ticket.
and Doug.
Ticket.
Yeah,
Ticket.
I do be ticking.
You get to ride.
It is going to
I-
fly here.
You play that like as a video game now? You can play Ticket to Ride as a video game?
Really? I have never played Ticket to Ride
That video
the
game's been out for a
regular-
long time.
game.
Oh.
It misses
The
and
video
it
game?
shoots at you, but fails to hit you. It is then going to fly 20 feet into the air. Getting up to 45 feet up now. And then is Lancer 5. Lancer
Oh.
15. Going to move 20 feet to here. And is also going to make a Harpoon Stinger attack against the small cat thing. Because you don't count as an animal in their eyes.
Meow.
And also
Yeah.
miss. My guy. Well, at least this guy can fly. He was already 20 feet up. He can fly another... let's see, he moved 20 feet. He can fly another 30 feet in the air, up to 50 feet up. Can y'all see? Yes, y'all can see the height indicators. They're a little small on stream side, so I don't know if you'll be able to see clearly exactly what they are, but you know, they're up in the air, and that's what's important. Enough for me to read. That's Lancer 15. Lancer 21 is going to fly 45 feet to here. 20 feet in the air, and is going to attack Douglas. Which is not his name. His name is just Doug.
New Doug.
His
Oh.
full name is not Douglas. That is a 23 to
Yeah.
hit,
Hey,
Doug.
hold on. No. Disadvantage that piece of junk.
Okie doke. We'll roll again, see if he still hits. Who are you granting advantage to? As you have now revealed yourself. As it misses, striking into the ground with its tail.
It's fine.
Who would you like to advantage?
I mean, I'm gonna give it to my homeboy. Gambit needs to be able to crit and be able to get some.
have... Okay. Alright,
Wait,
I'll
you
hold
had
on to it for a second.
You do have
In
sneak
case I
attack.
lose it.
Well, you have hidden advantage, and then you'll have another advantage after.
I'm hidden right now.
it lasts for a minute, so you're fine. Like you don't have
Okay.
to use it right away. Use it for you don't have to necessarily use it for an attack. You can use it for a save also.
Okay. If you say so.
I do, and you should save it when it's most useful for you. You know, get them all, kill them right good.
How would you like to kill them?
Me?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Hooray! I made this. That's awesome. That's
My
that's
turn?
successful.
Uh-huh.
I
Okay.
did honestly just for the chance of missing, but mostly to make sure that Gambit can pull off a
Nah, you may reduce its
delicious
roll.
taste.
I give you one guess. What am I gonna do?
I'm gonna guess you're gonna shoot one of them, but the question is which one of them.
I guess I'm gonna hit the one that's like right in front of my face.
Lancer 15 in front of you. It is 50 feet up, but I
Yeah.
think the range on your gun is like 120 or something silly. Maybe not that
Ooh,
far.
spicy.
It's
I always forget Gambit actually packs a gun.
forget your gun because it's older guns that aren't quite as good. It's apparently it's range
60,
2060.
60. Yeah.
It's actually a little bit high
Oh,
up for
no.
you. It's a little bit far.
You
You wouldn't be
can't
able to
sneak
sneak
it.
attack because you would
Dang
have
it!
disadvantage.
I've already flown today.
True. You're out of flight speed.
I can't sneak it.
What else can you snack?
If
You
you get
snack
right
that
under
one?
them, you could snack 16, or you could snack 21 because if you
Get
got
the
up next
queen,
to
get the
them.
queen, Get the queen. Get the queen. Go for the queens always if you can. The other things are super easy peasies, man. Like you have to
I
understand.
don't think.
Jack killed one already. I mean, Doug killed one.
Let him go. He's good. She's good. She can figure it out. There's a tree there. You will have to get slightly closer, but if you got up to like here, you'd be able to take the shot.
But I'm not in the thing.
Yes, you'd be just far enough out, I would say.
Man, it's hard to aim at the sun.
You point your gun in the sky. What?
Did that work?
It did. You hit.
Yay!
Go ahead and add your snack
Give
attack.
advantage though. Did he have?
You
Is that
should
a
have, so go ahead and roll again
advantage
just in
though?
case
I was
there's
hidden,
a
That
crit.
doesn't
right?
look like a.
You were, but you hadn't clicked advantage, and it
Okay.
doesn't auto proc, so
Okay.
roll
Okay.
again
okay.
just in
I
case you
forgot,
get a crit.
I forgot.
It's fine. You're good. You're good. Roll the same
Yep.
thing twice. Both fives. Both still hit.
It's the same thing.
Wow.
Give me your pistol at the sky.
Boom! I hit the right button.
You did.
Not the wrong button. Oh, that look at all D6s.
Yum yum.
As you aim toward it, you actually look at where the thorax is meeting its middle. You aim a simple shot as it pierces partially through the thorax, in through where would be a spine if it wasn't a bug, causing it to shred in half as the harpoon that had dug toward John immediately falls limp as the body falls to the ground, burning up in the sunlight, dissipating. Quickly turning to
Okay.
ash.
Bonus action, hide.
Okay. Make a stealth check and a wisdom saving throw. Hiding from Grim is harder than hiding from anything else. I mean, it's not a high save, but if you can't roll, okay. If Gambit can't keep his composure. Okay, so you're definitely hidden. And are you mentally prepared?
Yeah. So mentally prepared. Look
You
at that.
are! You stealth. Answer 3. It's going to fly here, 20 feet up, and it's going to roll a d4 to see whether it goes after John or Ticket.
Ticket.
Whether-
You keep calling him
I
Ticket.
don't know, it's just, for some reason it's Ticket today. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, it's John.
Maybe you've got the Irish in there. You're saying ticket. Oh, I've got the ticket
Yeah,
then.
yeah, ticket.
Okay.
It did fly 20 feet, that's good to know.
They're not big on their H's.
That is a hit.
It's Ticket casting Thunder.
Ticket casted Thunder Spell. Get a little bit of the, specifically, Pirates of the Caribbean accent. Not like a real Caribbean accent, but the way they talk in the movies, because it's... okay, that deals 8 points of damage. You are now grappled again. Here, have another con save for poison damage. You fail this time.
Womp womp.
And you take a full 14 points of poison damage. It is then going to drag you 15 feet in the air. as it pulls you underneath it. It's up to
Duran's
35.
to say, why are they targeting John? What has he done?
Lancer 1 is going to... Oh, who to go after? It already sees 1 as being... That's cool. It's just going to go right here, 25 feet, flying underneath his friend, because that's how heights work. It's going to attack Thicket.
Oh, Ticket. Oh, Ticket. He's got to get your Ticket. He's going to punch your Ticket.
And miss! What is your AC like 17, Thicket?
Yeah, I think so.
Dang. Are you what kind of armor are you wearing? Why can I never remember, but you've got such good AC.
I got new armor recently.
Yeah, I feel like you've got the Brigandine, that's it, and it's like 15 plus, plus Dex, so yeah, you're chilling. It misses you, and then it's going to fly up in addition, so it went 25 feet, it's going to fly up to 50 feet in the air. Garand.
All right. What is... Okay, I'm going to try to, Okay. I'm super in here. All right. So it looks like I could get, theoretically, all 4 of the guys near to us, because 35 to 50 feet, that means they're all within effectively a 10-foot radius, which is 20 feet. I could theoretically get all 4 of them in a thunder wave. Does that sound accurate to you, sir? Am I correct in that?
These 4?
Yep.
What's the radius of Thunder Wave?
That's a 10-foot thunder wave.
But it's coming out from you, isn't it?
No, it doesn't have to come out from you.
I thought Thunder Wave was centered from you going outward. Like
point, man. Each creature in a 10-foot radius. Here, look. Let me go help you out, man.
Are you talking about Thunder Wave or Shatter?
Shatter.
You said Thunder
Did
Wave.
I say
Shatter makes more
Thunder
sense. Yep, Shatter works.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
why I was like, they're 30 feet in the air. You're not close enough to
okay.
Thunder Wave.
Might be.
You're
All right.
good. What was the range? 20 feet? Okay, it's still doing weird distances. Okay.
It's fine, but it should get all of them, because 35 to 50, that's only 15 foot apart, so that's more than fine.
What's the range? It was...
The range on it is 60 foot.
No, the radius. I can't remember if it was 20 or 10.
10-foot radius.
Okay, so that's 10-foot radius. With the farthest one... Sure, I'll say you can just barely get all of them in there.
I'll accept just barely. It's fine. All right. So first off, let me add the D8, because I'm upcasting. Oh, for a mighty one. That's super poops. But all right. Here we go.
Shakalaka boom. Alright, now I'm set it backwards. What's with me tonight? Tonight is weird. Boom shakalaka.
Yeah, you're on, bro. Like, what's up?
Didn't sleep last... I mean, actually, I slept pretty well. I just didn't sleep long enough.
Working 9 to 5.
Oh my god. Look at that horrible roll.
Okay, so fortunately you didn't target them with the individual damage, it looks like. You just had them roll a save, because some of them are going to succeed. So some of them specifically... Nah, I'll just drag the damage onto them. So it looks like... Which one is that? Lancer 1 is going to take the full brunt of the 10 damage. Bonk. Oh, apparently it only had 10 HP. It explodes. Lancer 5 is also going to take the full brunt of the damage. There's going to be another explosion. Another one explodes in the air, as there is just blood and gore as they disintegrate in the air, sending bits of the ichor that falls down and quickly begins to ash away.
Anyone looking in Garon's direction at the time, which might actually genuinely be nobody, but anybody able to see Garon might see a very, very aggressive grin across his face as these things.
That is your action. Do you have any bonus actions or movement you'd like to take?
Oh, I do, sir. I do. We are definitely going to Mantle of Inspiration.
Okie doke.
So let's go ahead and give some bonuses. This will not provoke, but everybody who wishes to can make a move their speed without provoking.
Would anyone like to move up to their speed without provoking opportunity attacks? And again, none of you are close enough to be able to do so.
How high are the trees? Like, if Doug was in the tree?
15 feet?
I think Doug's just gonna stay where he is.
Fair enough. John, you
Doug's
cannot
gonna
move.
go
You are
over here.
grappled. Your movement speed is 0.
Oh, I'm still grappled?
Yep.
Oh.
This other one, Lancer 3, grappled you and is now
Oh.
dragging you into the air.
I missed that.
It's okay.
I'm
All right,
almost dead.
Garand, are you moving?
I mean, I'll adjust 5 over here because sure, why not? Whatevs.
Lancer 7.
I'll make myself a target Lancer 11 so that Lancer 11 has someone to go after it besides my friends. Because I'm pretty sure I'll be okay against Lancer 11.
Lancer 7 is going to make a perception check, see if it can distinguish. It does distinguish the real Doug, and it's going to Harpoon Stinger. Ka-chow! That's a hit.
Disadvantage.
Can I,
Dis.
Okie doke.
Roll that.
It has disadvantage. It's going to roll again. As long as I don't actually just drag the whole combat tracker. Let's not do that. It does fail on its second roll.
I'm gonna give that one to Dougie. I want him to do the Dougie. So
it was 20 feet in the air. He still had that moved 15 feet, so he's gonna move another 35 feet and get to 55 feet in the air. Lancer 11. Now that he sees everyone, it's going to move to here, 20 feet in the air, of course, and is going to attempt to pierce good old Garand.
Intimidation check.
It fails. They don't have the willpower to care. It fortunately misses.
My emotional state is such that I'm like, you really don't want to mess with me, bro, and he actually gets scared, and he's all like, nope, not happening. I'm done.
Queen Lancer is going to move out of the beam of light.
No.
And is going to make a pierce attack against Gambit.
No.
Actually, it's going to start by making 2 spine attacks against you, and then make a pierce attack. Or a sting attack.
I have advantage to being grappled. I don't know if that matters.
It'll help if you try to escape, but it isn't a check to avoid being grappled itself. So, if you try to escape, then it'll be great. So actually...
Miss.
I mean, technically it did miss. I'm just... I didn't think of the thing, so it's not going to have thought of the thing that I could have done.
Whiffity whiff.
Which is good for you guys. Harpoon Stinger is also going to miss. It misses all 3 attacks against Gambit. It is then going to fly. Let's see, how far to move? Roughly.
Wow, Gambit, that's some nice armor you have. It's very protective. You should be very thankful.
60 feet in the air. Lancer 6.
Was it at all in my range?
To
trigger an opportunity attack?
No.
Okay.
Let's see. This one is going to fly 35 feet, or 40 feet over here, down 10 feet. And is going to do a thing. As it flies down, the massive wings grow louder, as it is going to use a gale ability to target several of you and make you make some strength saves.
Boo.
It's going to have to move actually all the way down to the ground, so we'll say 5 feet up to make sure it's within 10-foot range of you all. Jackie succeeds and will withstand the gale because it is not a half damage, it is just a flat. Good, Jackie. I'm so glad you're alive. The tree is, however, being torn apart next to it as the massive wind swings outward. Garand, John, Thicket failed.
Does that give an opportunity for Jackie to try to nip bites on?
In a second, sure. Gambit.
As a reaction,
did you click the save?
Protect was the
Okay, the others of you, however, are going to take 48 bludgeoning damage. Not 48, 4d8. You take 12 as it bursts outward this wind, and it is going to it's going to move 5 feet back up to 10 feet in the air. I'm just going to With Queen Lancer 1 just off to the side. It's not actually right there. It's like almost in the same space as 6, but you know, height is a thing. They can maintain concentration. Douglas!
Okay. Question.
Answer.
Could I move the Dawn, like, to hover above us but not hit us? So that way it kind of, like, potentially forces them not to go up so high?
I'm gonna say...
Because it's a cone.
I mean, it's a 30-foot high, 40-foot radius, or a 40-foot high, 30-foot radius cylinder.
Right, but it doesn't say it has to originate from the ground.
You're right, it doesn't. I've just been narrating it that way. Per the spell, it would make sense, so I'm going to say sure.
So in that case, for, I guess, my bonus action, I'm just going to hover it above all of us and just put it, like, what, the highest one of us is, like, what, 15 feet in the air?
Yep.
So maybe around, like, 25 feet in the air.
And where would you like to center it?
Like...
On us now. You can definitely put it on us now because it's
Yep.
over us.
Go ahead and target all of them. Except for Queen Lancer 6, because she is below the height that you specified.
Oh, well, when I move it, it doesn't automatically hit them, right? It's just...
Technically, it's
when
supposed to
they-
hit them at the start of their turn. We've been simplifying it by doing the damage when you go. It matters more with like legendary actions and stuff. So we can
Okay.
have them each go one at a time. It's just which one ends up being easier in the moment.
Yeah,
And
so-
it might be easier to go ahead and roll against all of them right now. But it's up to you.
You
If you
said-
want to wait, they can do it on their turn.
That's okay. Which one does not?
Queen Lancer 6 does not get affected.
Okay, so I need to control click, right?
Yep, control click everyone else.
Okay, control click, control click, control click, control click, control click, control click. That's all of them, correct? Except for that one?
Let me check. It looks like it, yes.
Okay, because I see arrows to all of them except that
Yeah,
one.
it looks like it to me as well. Good job.
And then let's do...
Alright, I'm about to click the button a bunch of times. Alright, let's see. There were 3 successes and 3 failures, it looks like. It should all automatically affect, though, because it's half damage. Go ahead and roll the damage. It had to take a second to process. Because of, you know, I guess it makes sense. It's applying damage to each individual creature and checking against their hit points and stuff. As you pull the sword back out and redirect the light directly above you, it's almost like the light comes from the sword itself, bursting into a huge Kamehameha beam, we'll say, piercing upward, like bursting through the entire area. And when the light fades a moment later from the attack, they're just all gone.
I'm imagining, like, you know how if you do a headshot in, like, Halo or something, it just makes a sound and they burst into, like, confetti?
The last time I played Halo was legitimately a decade and a half ago. So I couldn't tell you, but sure.
That's what I'm just imagining, is just, like, confetti of, like, grim parts.
Grim parts falling down, ichor and ash that are cascading.
Okay, so that was my bonus.
I thought it was action to move.
It's an action to cast it. I think it's a bonus action to move it. Because it's already concentration, so...
Yeah, if you're within 60 feet of the cylinder, you can move it up to 60 feet as a bonus action on your turn. This spell's crazy, man.
Yeah,
no wonder it's supposed to require a 100 gold piece material component that... Well, it doesn't get expended, so you'll have to pay the price once, but still.
Okay,
good radius, good damage.
And then this one is... How many feet is that? 10 feet? Oh, yeah, so I can easily get to it.
10 feet
So
up, so
I'm
you wouldn't be able to, like, melee attack it, but you could go after it.
Well, I mean...
He could with the shadow.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was just going to move the shadow and then attack.
Fair enough. It flies up to it.
Clone jutsu.
Exactly. That hits. Roll damage.
Don't forget, Doug, I also gave you a rando advantage. So if you want to just like drop an advantage on the next attack on it, you could.
Yeah, you're welcome. So it only lasts for like 10 minutes.
A minute, so.
A minute.
Does this exceed the AC by a certain amount?
Yes.
So to do that, I need to go to this down here.
Oh, right. As it explodes, John, make a dexterity saving throw to avoid falling prone, I guess. Though I think in standard falling rules, you just fall prone anyway. And you're going to take 6 points of falling damage.
I don't think the saving throw is going to help me.
Did it do the damage? I don't think it applied.
It did not apply the damage, but that gets me down.
He is unconscious as John falls to the ground. He does not get back up.
Wow, they really were after John.
They really hate me.
Listen, last fight I wasn't able to attack you. The first attack
Okay.
does some good damage. Second attack,
Oh yeah, I do have a second, don't I?
you are level
saying.
10, yes.
Roll again. See if you crit. Use your advantage now. Go ahead, John. Go for him.
Sure. Well, let's not do that. Let's do this instead. Nope.
It's worth a shot. You know, it's a freebie, right? It's every once in a while. Oh look, a free advantage. Nice.
Yeah, but you still deal damage for the extra necrotic, which they actually resist. But, you know, damage is damage. As it is being attacked as you claw in, actually cutting off the two antennae on its head, piercing through part of one of its wings, screeches out toward you. Not so much as in pain as in anger. Jackie. Jackie will bark aggressively.
I rolled the two earlier, so there was one for the protect the tree, and that was a 10. But then it was her turn 20. So did either of those hit?
Pardon?
Earlier, so her command was protect the tree. The tree got attacked when that thing did its blow by breath whatever thing of the wind. So the tree got hurt. So therefore she got an attack op.
It's 10 feet.
Because of that was her command. And now the second roll is her attack on it on her turn. So did either of those hit?
How much did you roll for this?
10 and then 20. 10 and then 20.
The 20 hits. Go ahead and roll the damage. It resists it down to 0.
Well, that's poops. All right.
But I would also like for you to make a charisma check for Jackie.
Jackie's charisma or mine?
Jackie's charisma. Yeah, Jackie's charisma. Okay. Anything else you'd like her to do?
No, I mean, she's still protecting the tree. She's still trying to get at this thing, so she's
doing
done.
her best. John, make a death saving throw.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't understand that she's not hurting this thing. She's fighting it. She's hitting. She's just
doing
not
great.
doing any
Roll for a
damage.
death saving throw?
Because you're unconscious. Dying.
I said, what do you roll?
So on your main tab, because I guess y'all don't do this very often, down there at the bottom there's death saves. Click the dice next to it or drag the dice onto the thing.
Fair enough.
I don't know what you're saying.
You wake up with
because
1 hit point.
Oh, yeah.
You're on a half dozen times. Hey, that's great. That means you actually are conscious at 1.
You wake up, your eyes snap back open as you look at the large bug flying nearby.
Yeah,
you also
you're
are
actually
weirdly
at 1.
covered in bits of black ash.
I assume I don't have an action then, right?
No, you
It's
do.
at the
You
end
get
of
to
your
take your
turn.
turn.
Oh, I get to take my
Oh.
turn?
I always
Sweet.
thought it was you just get your turn, but
Oh.
I love.
I
Go
mean, like
for it. No, no, no.
BG3, you don't get an action if you get up, but
listen, if you're rolling a
Shut up.
20 to wake up automatically on your own,
Okay, that's
I'll give
fair.
it to you. It's a rare enough occurrence anyway. Take it.
How badly hurt does the bee look?
Pretty bad. Been
Pretty
chopped
bad?
up. It's been
Okay.
struck by. Well, this one hasn't been struck by lightning, but it's been chopped up. It's been stabbed a little bit,
Burned by the sun.
burned by the sun a little bit.
Hmm.
I think it might have been the other one. Regardless, it's not looking great.
They both took it.
No, that was the other two. I think those two died. This one was the one that was over here, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because there were 3 of them.
Yeah, there were before the sun melted them.
Let's see then. What should I do?
You guys were worried about this fight? Like,
You
I mean, to be fair,
never know.
John went down for half a second, and he's immediately right back up. It's fine.
you know, it's a dramatic fight, but you know, thin exoskeletons.
You said it looks pretty
It looks pretty beaten up.
beaten up.
I'm gonna remove grappled from you because you're not grappled. You're also not unconscious. Would you like to stand up?
Sure.
Okay. You're also not prone.
Sweet. Okay, I'm just gonna do this for the heck of it. I cast Vicious Mockery on it.
What would you like to say?
You had all this help, and it's just you now. And you're about to go down. And we're gonna laugh, because you almost killed me too.
Go ahead and make the save.
You were so close. You almost took one of us out. Almost.
Yeah, almost.
Question: if something is immune to being charmed, is it unaffected? I don't think so, but
I don't think so. You still need to do a wisdom saving throw.
it's
It's not a
not-
charm.
In fact, it's technically just like a psychic. You're making it
So
feel
sad.
like inferior.
it succeeds. It
Dang
does
it.
not feel inferior. It is
Yeah, that's
indifferent.
basically all that's really happening. Is like you make it feel inferior, and it just like judges itself. It's like emotional abuse.
Thicket, I can imagine.
Krakow! Lightning bolt.
In the distance, you hear "ka-chow," and I cast lightning.
It's like all those memes where it's like actual footage of a tree getting struck by lightning, and then it just has Lightning McQueen go past the screen. I love those so
But
much.
then you have that one that is actual lightning and it traumatizes you.
Oh yeah, freaks you out. The bolt of lightning coming through the light in the sky pierces through. That you see the flash of no skeleton underneath, or no, you see a comically humanoid skeleton underneath for no particular reason. It's just comedy. Genuinely, there's no lore to this. And then it explodes as everything calms down. As you don't know how many others might be going around the forest, because there were definitely a lot more than that. Don't know why there are now dice stolen or stuck in the air for a bit. Okay, they're gone now. But it seems the immediate threat has dissipated. John, you feel better as Thicket says some kind words.
Yay.
And Garand hands some kind words. Cure Wounds is now sign language.
That was scary.
Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. That's on me.
You cast it.
I meant to do. Yeah, I meant to do the healing word, but it's fine. It's fine. Either way, it's fine because it's still a 3rd level pack magic, so that when we short rest, I can get those back anyway.
Fair enough.
So,
Plus, Cure Wounds is a warlock spell. I think you're supposed to use packed spells for warlock and. Actually, no. I think you can. I don't remember. I don't remember if you can use them for either. I think you can use them for either.
I lost the internet. Yeah, you can interchange them. It's fine. I lost the internet though, so I'm not there for a moment.
Okay, well, hopefully you'll come back in a minute. As you all gather around and heal John a little bit. Jackie will be confused and sniff at the remains of ash that are quickly dissipating away, leaving naught but
No.
a bit of carnage.
Good job. Good job. Good job. You did great. That's great. You protected that tree. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl?
She will let you scratch behind her ears happily. Make a perception check once you get reconnected.
I'm gonna cast Aura of Vitality.
What's the time?
It is roughly 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The trees are starting to thin out. You are getting close to the edge of the forest.
Do I get better healing with Aura of Vitality at higher levels? It doesn't say.
Nope. But it gives you a full minute, so 10 uses of giving people 2d6 hit points. So, 20 d6 hit points is pretty good.
So, no.
No, you don't get any extra benefit from upcasting it. Surprisingly, Doug was actually the first person to get to John. Doug's ghost disappeared. Two uses. 3 uses. Uses.
How many of these do I get?
10 totals, that's 5. You have 5
10?
more uses. To be honest, you're probably just
Wait,
gonna
is
max
this your
out.
hit die thing?
No.
No.
That's the 3rd level Aura of Vitality,
It's
which
just
lasts
a
for a minute.
concentration spell.
A 1-minute concentration spell that lets you heal people for 2d6 hit points as a bonus action for a full minute. So, out of combat,
Nice.
it's just, here's 20d6.
Yeah, that's
So that was
fire.
6, 7,
Yep.
and then can I do it on myself?
Yep. Specifically says in the spell.
That's 8.
You can bonus action to cause one creature in the aura, including you, to gain 2d6 hit points. 8.
Okay. We're all good now.
Yeah. You're all feeling very good.
Yay!
You let the last vestiges of the power dissipate because you have no use of them.
Garon's looking over at John like, what's up, wrong, mate? Something wrong? They came right for you.
I don't know. Just a bad day, I guess. They didn't seem to like me.
Are you feeling bad about Jackie also?
What do you mean? About what happened earlier? Yesterday?
Yeah, man. Is that what's bothering you?
Hmm. Maybe a little, but I mean, I don't know if that played into this fight.
Well, look, they're pretty consistent, mate. They come run after whatever's like causing them to have their hunger. Like if they would have come for me, I think it's pretty obvious. Yeah, they would have been like sensing my hurt over what Jackie went through. She doesn't really understand because she's an animal, but it's a big deal. And if they would have come for maybe Thicket was like feeling bad about abandoning us in the last fight and flying over above. And
Wait,
What are you talking about?
You're saying they attack some people who like show the most like emotional weakness?
Yeah, so we fought them a
Oh.
few. We've learned that. So yeah, if you're feeling vulnerable, they'll come for you, mate.
I didn't abandon you guys.
No, I was saying it. I was saying, what if, in case you felt bad about that. Maybe you felt bad, and so maybe they were coming for you. But the fact that they came for John lets us know that he was feeling off about something.
But what would I feel
me-
bad about? I didn't abandon you guys.
Right. It was a for example. The point is, John was feeling off, and they sensed it.
Are you sure it's not the new sword?
I mean, they've never really come for a weapon before. They've always come for a person. But I suppose it could be. It could be something different. Maybe we've got to reevaluate our understanding. But I just want to really make sure that John's okay. That, if we need to do something for John,
I mean, I wasn't feeling too bad until I got skewered.
Yeah, that can definitely take it out of you for sure. But the point is, they sensed something that maybe you didn't realize. So, are you all right, man? You okay?
Yeah, I think I'm all right. I mean, the other night, I thought it was getting dicey. I think they did the hags cast something on me. Because I could have sworn Thicket was dying there, and then he wasn't. So I don't know.
Yeah. There's definitely something to all that. You see, this is why hags need to just straight out die. If it were up to me, once I knew that my parents were safe, once I knew that you guys were all taken care of, I think I might have fun adventuring throughout the Feywild and just getting rid of them, honestly. Because they don't truly die until they're killed there. Killed here means that it takes them a while, maybe is a painful process, maybe there's other issues, but eventually they'll come back, right? Those hags will be back because we killed them here. We didn't kill them in the Feywild where they originate. There's
Anyone
some
who has proficiency can make an Arcana check.
So they're star elves?
No, there's an issue when it comes to that sort of thing. Listen,
As you say this, you know that some powerful Fae do have this, but what you're describing is a little more to how devils in particular interact. As you're saying this, you're feeling like maybe it can apply to hags sometimes, but not always.
I mean, as far as Duran's concerned, like, anything not killed in its home dimension can come back. So
Honestly,
if there's
fair.
even a chance, but
And I don't think anyone else has
so-
Arcana proficiency, so no one's gonna remember you wrong.
yeah, there was a question of mine, which is awesome. So anyway, so he's like, so look, here's the thing, right? They will probably come back eventually. It may take a century or two. We may be long gone and past, and ultimately we should take responsibility for that sort of thing. But here's the problem, right? At the end of the day, regardless, we can at least know this. We fought enough Grim to know if we are not emotionally settled in some way, we're going to have a problem. We're going to draw them to us. I've been struggling with the whole issue of what's happened over the last few days, but I've been trying to keep my composure. I think it's evident the fact that they came for you instead of me. Maybe you're still feeling bad about what you thought you saw, about thinking everybody was hurt or sick or dying or whatever it was they showed you. I want to let you know it's all right, mate. We're fine. We're all here. We've made it. Try to figure out how to compose yourself the best you can. Okay? I know it's not fun. Once we've left this area, once we've gotten to a more civilized place, we might not have to worry about it as much, but until then, just try to be mindful of it, I guess.
Yep.
Well, I have some emotions to take care of. I'm pretty frustrated that you keep saying I abandoned you guys. And I don't understand why you keep saying that.
I mean, you flew up above us and you just kind of went away. You didn't really, you weren't really in it. It's fine. It's whatever.
I saved your life.
Okay.
You went down in one turn. You would have been dead if it weren't for me.
You mean
And
you
I turn into animals because that's what I do.
Right,
I
so you think
didn't
you
leave.
leaving was the best way to keep me from not going down one moment? I mean, you kind of did. You flew up above us, right? You was a bird, right?
I mean,
Yes,
isn't
and
that-
I was helping.
he was getting
I
to
mean-
an advantageous position. How is that leaving? Because he's not right next to you.
Okay, I mean, I get that you can think that, right? But that's not what it seemed like to me. So maybe convince me of why you think that's true. Why do you believe that the best way to help was to be away from what was going on?
I turned into a bird because you were grappled. Because of you specifically. I cast Banner of Stars so that you could get out of grapple, and then I turned into a bird so that everyone else could make sure that they wouldn't get grappled either.
Right, and how does a bird help us do that? Well, I'm just, try to make me understand. Understand, I'm not a druid. I don't know what you know. I don't really exactly understand all the things that you think you understand.
We had like 3 or 4 different frogs, giant toads, surrounding all of us, grappling everyone left and right. And I'm trying to make sure that everyone can still use Banner of Stars to get out of grapple so that they can continue fighting. The entire everything that I do doesn't revolve around making sure that you stay alive, Garan. I'm helping everyone, not just you. And me turning into a bird was making sure that everyone else could still use Banner of Stars.
Okay, that's great. I don't really understand what that means. I don't know what Banner of Stars is. I don't really follow exactly what you're saying. All I can say is I was in danger. You flew away. So try to understand maybe where I'm coming from, and maybe you can piece together whatever you're trying to do to make that work out. Does that make sense?
I've used Banner of Stars multiple times before. I don't understand why you don't know what it is. It's so that you guys can teleport your movement speed and get out of grapple without having to struggle for it.
Great. So how does that equate to you being a bird and not being involved in the combat?
I was involved. I was keeping Banner of Stars active, and I was saving your butt by healing you as a bird and dragging you out of range so that you wouldn't get hit.
Okay, so
And saving Gambit. I was doing everything that I could in every turn, and you're acting like I did nothing. You would have been dead if I wasn't there.
Right, except I nearly did die, right? And Jackie,
Because you stood next to a frog and you got one shot. I couldn't do anything about that. You went down in one turn, and you're expecting me to have been able to save your butt when that happened in 2 seconds.
Okay, so your argument, your position is that you were able to maintain your ability to teleport people around through flying. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And you're saying that you were able to heal me while a bird, even though typically that's a more spellcastery sort of thing, or at least a alchemical sort of thing with a potion, because you were a bird and you were able to do something through your natural being. Is that
Semblance.
Yes.
okay? Well, I guess it comes down to like Christopher not understanding exactly what constitutes what, as far as like what is known in character and what's not known, I guess. So, just bear with me as I try to like translate all of this. Okay,
as far as semblance go, you all know what semblances are. Y'all have never explicitly talked about what yours are.
Okay,
so
we know what semblances are. Okay,
you know what
so
they
you're saying
are, but you wouldn't necessarily know
like
which thing is what. Like, if someone casts spells and then does a different thing, unless you explain what it is, you may not know or understand what someone's semblance is explicitly.
All right, so your specific semblance is an ability to heal. Is that your claim?
I can do a lot of things with my semblance, but yes, one of those things is healing.
Okay, and so you were able to do that as a bird, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to let you know, you may have done is you abandon the team. I get that you're
cut
saying
out
you
a little
didn't,
bit there.
and
I heard
well,
him.
that's
Okay, continue.
okay. All right. So that could be true, but I'm telling you how it looked and how it felt and how realizing I was near to death, and then somehow I'm making it through some way, and thank you for that. I do appreciate that. That's thoughtful. You are working for the team. You are working together. We good. But I'm
Does
letting you know
anyone
how it appears.
else feel like I've abandoned the team?
Grand, it kind of seems like you don't trust Thicket.
Well, I have to be honest, right? First off, it's a cat. I've never really interacted with a living, like, speaking, sentient cat. So that's always going to be a little off-putting. That's the first thing to keep in mind. The second thing to keep in mind is Thicket has no bearing of any sort of consciousness before, like, less than 2 years ago. So that's also off-putting, confusing. And then Thicket does things that I can't, so I'm not going to understand everything that Thicket does. Also, I think, understandable. Secondly, Thicket has intentionally attacked me before because he wasn't liking the answers that I gave. That is also part of the thing. I can forgive him for that and move forward, but then there's also, okay, here I am in this dangerous position, this precarious position, and I see him fly off. And I may not understand all the things that he understands, and maybe he's a little defensive when he should be more willing to understand. If he's a person who understands other people, if he's a person who's able to read people as well as he's able to read me, he may want to consider at least thinking the possibility, you know what, he may think of this as differently than how I see it. So while it comes down to maybe I don't trust the kid, I would not argue that that's true. I very much trust the kid. I think that I don't understand Thicket, and I think those are similar maybe, but different. And so trying to understand Thicket and saying, hey, look, this is what it looks like to Garond, you know, maybe that's an opportunity for Thicket to be like, hey, I get why you might think that. That wasn't what I was doing, and I appreciate you bringing it up. But instead, Thicket got defensive. So that doesn't necessarily alleviate my concern, right? It more likely actually exacerbates it. Makes me think, why can I not think or feel a thing without him trying to explain it to me more calmly and rationally? I'm trying to be calm and rational. If you've noticed, I haven't attacked him. I haven't tried to make him feel bad. Now, he may feel bad.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
No.
You've gone day after day after day since that battle saying, you abandoned us, Thicket. You abandoned us. I sure hope that Thicket doesn't abandon us again. You have made me feel bad about it. So I don't think that I'm being unreasonable for my reaction because you have been purposefully antagonizing me ever since that day.
Well, then
I
like
thought that we got over what happened with the entangle spell. I thought that we were willing to move on and start over and start trusting each other. And instead, every day since that last battle, I felt like you just don't trust me. And you want to search for reasons why I'm some horrible person who wants to watch you die.
Well, I apologize greatly because that is very far from where I'm at. So my position is, I believe you are a cat who is given sentience and doesn't fully understand a lot of things and makes a lot of choices in the moment as a cat. Right? You have to understand, you're a cat. Okay?
And you're an elf. Since we're stating the obvious.
Okay. But see, the thing is, elves have been around for centuries, millennia, right? Cats have been around long enough to be an animal, but they are typically not walking around with hats, on hind legs, communicating with elementals. You are different. You have to understand that you are different. In that case, I'm not going to understand things from your perspective. I'm going to think about them from my perspective. So, what that means, friend, is that when I don't understand what you're doing, yes, I may have an opinion about it. you're wanting to discuss it. Let's discuss it. I'm on board. That's great. It's a great idea. Here's the thing. All right. I can be over and past the thing and then see something else that reminds me of something and think maybe they're not different than I thought they were. Maybe I was right in my first guess, my first understanding. That's how it can be when you, again, you are effectively how many years of sentience owed? Less than 2 years, correct?
If I may interject here for a second. Doug kind of pauses for a second because he's not 100% sure if he can interject.
He's waiting for the permission.
Everyone's staring at
They're just staring at him. Like,
Doug.
I'm like on the same page right there. I'm like, we're like, everybody's just staring like, okay.
I mean, he still is like socially like figuring things
Inept.
out. So in the like, okay, go ahead kind of moment, he just kind of says, I think I understand what you're saying, Garon, but doesn't that work both ways? Like if Thicket, like if you have opinions and thoughts that are different than Thicket's, and if you're wanting Thicket to try to understand where you're coming from, then wouldn't Thicket also think that you should try to understand where he is coming from? So
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done.
So if you're like, so if you say that you trust Thicket, then shouldn't you be trying to think about why Thicket did what he did out of, I guess, the betterment of the team, rather than coming at it from like your own perspective?
All right, I just want to make sure that you're done. I don't want to respond
Yeah,
inappropriately. Okay. Yeah, now, intellectually speaking, what you're saying is absolutely right. Super brilliant. It's great. Here's the problem. I am not the wisest of sorts. I don't really think about things from necessarily everyone else's perspective. I try to look at things as like a plan. I look at things as like a methodical, like, what's the strategy here, right? I did not understand. Go ahead.
So if you're thinking of it as a plan in that sense, but your plan involves all of us thinking how you think, like, doesn't that seem like one-sided?
Honestly,
doesn't seem like much of a leader's perspective.
Honestly, you could be right. I never said I was a leader, so forgive me if I ever did. Here's the thing. I'm not as wise and understanding as Thicket appears to be, right? My skill set is more interaction with persons and kind of like deciphering the more mechanical sort of situation, right? I'm like good with mathematics, if you will. But Thicket has shown to be very, very aware of where people are, where they think, where they feel, and the way that they do things. And so, and maybe I'm wrong for this. But I imagine that Thicket would be more likely to be like, hey, maybe someone thinks that I'm doing something that I'm not doing right now. Let me go ahead and make sure, hey, look, hey, I want to make sure that we're safe. I want to make sure we can keep this teleport going. I'm going to go up above where they can't get me because they're just frogs. Even something as simple as that might have made the difference in my mindset. Here's the problem.
I mean, but none of us really talk about our logic of thinking in combat, because the whole point is for them not to know what our plan is, correct?
I mean, yeah, you can argue that, but there's also the fact that frogs probably don't talk or think. But there's a whole other thing here. Like, I've talked to John before about, like, strategy, right? Strategy is important to me, right? I don't understand the strategy of why Thicket turned into a bird and flew up. Now, Thicket may have in mind why he thinks that's a good idea, and that's great. But if I don't understand that, then I have to go with my best understanding. He's scared because he's seeing this, like, these frogs swallow us up, and he doesn't want to be swallowed because he's a little cat. He's so much smaller than all of us. So, again, not that you're wrong. My point is, we don't have the same skill set. Thicket, being the person who's more mindful, in my opinion, might be more willing to be like, hey, let me express myself better. Whereas me, I'm all like, hey, that doesn't make sense to me. Why did you do that? Right? And so again, in that process of not understanding you, Thicket, I desperately apologize for making you feel bad. That was not the hope and the goal. My hope and goal was to, like, scare you, to be like, hey, I don't know what you're doing, so I'm scared that you're going to do the same thing again, which to me felt like abandonment, right? You didn't mean it like that, but that's what I felt and thought it was. And then boom, right?
So that may have been what you felt and thought that it was, but it wasn't actually that. And my frustration is not that you didn't know, it's the fact that you didn't ask. And you just assumed that's what it was. And so you're saying, like, all this stuff about you didn't understand, you didn't know, but you didn't ask. And so I'm just frustrated that you kept bringing it up as if it was intentional or harmful, me trying to be malicious in some way. But if you want to understand something, you have to ask about it. You can't just be passive aggressive about it and expect me to know what you're wanting to know. Like, expect me to know what kind of information you're seeking, if that makes sense. Like, I'm all for us being more upfront about what we're doing and why. But I didn't realize that was a frustration you were having until this point, because you hadn't said anything. And if I had known that you were frustrated about us not saying why we're doing the things that we're doing, then I would have been more upfront about it. But you didn't. And so then in the aftermath, instead of coming to all of us and saying, hey, I think we should be more upfront about what we're doing and why, instead you just spent days being passive aggressive towards me and saying, I sure hope that Thicket doesn't abandon us. And that really hurt my feelings, because I didn't know that you were feeling that way, and it just felt like you suddenly got hostile towards me instead of expressing your feelings.
That's a fair claim. He's the passive aggressive isn't the point. The point is like, hey, I'm worried it's going to happen again. So it wasn't intentional passive aggressive. The thing is, historically, you've been able to read people and understand that. And I have expressed previously how I was not okay with how you handled me and your distrust of me in the past. Right? I said, hey, you didn't just let it go and see how it went. You had to control the situation. And then when John basically collapsed a building on me and nearly killed me, I expressed my issues then. So I feel like I actually have, honestly, expressed how I want to have more communication. And the reality is that this group is not big on communication. You don't know really how to talk to people. You're scared because you're maybe a cat and maybe you don't know. John has a history and he maybe has shame. Gambit was a slave for a while, and he's all like, I don't really want to trust anybody because, I got put into prison. And Doug's just weird. So it's fine. You guys don't really like that, and that's okay. That's different than me, right? Okay? Different. Okay? I like to communicate. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. I have no problems expressing my thoughts and my feelings as I think and feel them. No problem. So, but the problem is, maybe you thought there was deeper than there was. And maybe that's an issue, and that's okay. We can talk about that. We can discuss that as well. But here's the thing. I genuinely believe I have expressed my thoughts and my feelings as I thought and felt them. The only thing I really have been open about...
I'm telling you that it wasn't effective, though.
Okay, well, that could be true. That could be true because I may not understand things the way that you understand things. I think that you have a way to understand things that's different and better and more superior than the way that I understand things. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not going to do everything the exact same way you think that I should. Likewise, you're not going to do everything I think, which is why I think communication is important. So if it wasn't effective that I said, hey, please don't attack me when you don't believe me, if it wasn't effective when I said, hey, please watch out what you're doing when you're trying to collapse a building when I'm inside it, then please understand, I don't want to feel abandoned in the middle of a situation where I think I'm about to die. And hopefully that will be sufficient to move us forward. And yeah, we can talk more about strategy and all that, because that's the way that I look at things. I look at things similar to like a chessboard or like what might be involved. But here's the thing. If it wasn't for your flower, we would have lost Jackie. That was an accidental bonus. The difference is I have specifically gone out of my way to try to make sure that Doug had something where he was not as gifted. He is very fantastic in hand-to-hand combat, melee combat, but he did not have a very good opportunity for ranged things, so I got him a bow. We found that as long as Gambit was away from the combat, he was fine, but as soon as something swarmed him, he was in danger, so I got him some armor. I've not found the exact thing for you just yet, but trust me, I've been thinking about it and looking. And now, even though that this is still relatively new compared to all things, I am also thinking about how to help John. Here's the problem. That is how I like to do things. I like to look at things from a strategic standpoint. What does one of my friends need? How can I serve them? How can I best help them? I get it. You did the same thing in your own way. You flew up. You wanted to try to be safe, so that I guess you can make sure that we could teleport. That's my understanding of where we're at right now. The thing is, I don't understand that because I don't know all the things that you can do. Right?
I'm not expecting you to know everything that we can do, and we can do. I agree. We can do a better job of being more clear about what we're doing, and why. I just ask that in the future, if there is ever another failure to communicate with you in a way that you would prefer, that you would say something about it instead of like expressing worry about it, if that makes sense. Like with the whole I hope Thicket doesn't abandon us again, I would have preferred if you said afterwards, hey, I kind of felt like you abandoned us back there. What was going on? I don't understand. This was my perception of how it happened. Is that what you intended? And everything. Instead of just carrying on and being worried about it. Like, I would have preferred if you asked for my understanding of it. Like when there is a failure to communicate, that you would ask about it in the aftermath. That's all.
If it helps at all, my mentioning I was worried about it was an opportunity to be like, hey, I definitely wasn't doing that. I'm sorry that it seemed like that. Let's talk about it. So likewise, if for some reason I'm failing to communicate in a way that you understand, maybe you can also make those things. So I'm willing to say, yeah, sure, I can try a different way. Are you willing to try a different way? You're asking something of me. Are you willing to also give? Does that make sense?
Yes, I was saying, like, I'll do a better job of trying to communicate.
Sure, but like, okay, let's say I failed to communicate with you. Hey, look, it seemed like you abandoned us. But instead I say I'm worried it's going to happen again. And you say, whoa, you felt I was abandoning you. I'm so sorry. No, that wasn't what. Does that make sense?
Well, I did say that. I've been saying I haven't abandoned you, and there's never been like an opportunity for us to talk it out until right now, because it's always been like we're about to get attacked.
That's fair. We've been in a tough spot. You're right there. That's true.
So, like, yes, I would like to talk things out when you bring them up, but also I would prefer if you would ask about them instead of stating them vaguely.
All right, I will do my best. I feel like there's still like a disconnect between how we're understanding each other, but I feel like we're closer, and that's a good start. So I will do my best to try to better communicate what seems like, oh my gosh, I'm in great danger again, and I'm trying to worry about my friends. Because that has been what I have felt like for quite some time. I didn't know any of you when I met you, and you also had a magical summons to go do a thing. And I wasn't sure I could trust anyone because, again, we're strangers. You know, people can lie, people can have ulterior motives. And so I didn't really want to let in that I was part of that same group who was given that same sort of, summons. And then you were mad about that fact, and you handled it, in my opinion, very poorly. But I tried to move forward. Now, in reciprocation, when I felt like you handled something poorly towards me, right? You thought I was not right because I was not being honest and forthright. And I was not happy because I felt like you had abandoned. I didn't attack you, but you felt it was passive aggressive. And maybe to you, passive aggressive is worse than actually being attacked. I don't know. Should I shoot an Eldritch Blast at you? I'm joking. I don't really want to do that. I don't ever actually want any of you to be hurt. But the point is, I think maybe as someone as wise and understanding as you might want to consider the fact of my history in this team. That I have oftentimes been either the incidental or the intentional victim of some very strange circumstances and outcomes. We barely knew John when he basically collapsed a building on me. Right? True? Yeah. We did not know Gambit when you and Doug were both more than willing to welcome him into the team. And everyone's like, why are you acting so weird toward Gambit? I'm like, well, we don't know him. I think maybe if you look historically at the situation, maybe you might understand a little more where I'm coming from. Okay? Yes, Gambit is a trusted member of the team. I'm glad he's here. He is fantastic and I love him. He's a brother. But at first, I did not know that. All of you, when I met you, wanted to re-educate and save kobolds of all things. That was absolutely bonkers to me, but we made it work, and it was a good idea overall. Very impressive. I can't say that I would still make that same decision if we were in another situation, but it worked that time. You weren't happy with my less than full truth, we'll say it that way, and you attacked me because of it. Okay? Not great. Just maybe try to put those cute little paws of yours in my boots for a little bit and see if maybe you might understand why I might feel perhaps think it was more scared than he was supportive. Again, maybe I'm wrong, and we can, people can grow and people can change, but I am sorry that I hurt your feelings. I hope you know that it greatly distressed me to think that maybe you valued your own skin such that you'd be willing to fly off and fly away. Because at the end of the day, every moment that we are in a dangerous situation together, we're putting trust into each other's hands. I believe I have continuously showed myself, regardless of whether it's the most honest way or not, to be completely loyal to each of you. I think you being willing to sacrifice a flower that means a lot to you to save Jackie shows you are loyal and you are faithful. And I appreciate that. But I genuinely have to consider some things and wonder if is this where I need to be? I mean, my father's back, right? My uncle wants me back to use me as leverage, and maybe I can restore my mum. But I think I'm working for something bigger than that. And so I want to put faith in each of you. But I don't understand you, Thicket. You are a cat with sentience. And I pray that you will learn to be more mindful of that fact. That is not typical. You're not easy to read or understand. You are an anomaly. And if you can't accept that fact, it's going to be a lot harder for us to get through things. The fact of the matter is, nobody's ever tried to kill you on sight, which I think is completely reasonable because that's terrifying to see a walking, talking cat. Nobody's tried to imprison you or dissect you or take experimentation on you. You've been very lucky. No one tried to say, oh, you're going to be my pet and try to kidnap you. Granted, I don't think they would. I think you'd be fine. But still, I don't think you understand the fullness of the situation you're in. You are different. And if you can't appreciate that, at least know that it's true. I can't know what a 2-year-old cat's going to do. Especially a 2-year-old cat can turn into a bird. I hope that helps. And he just goes to start petting Jackie.
Thicket walks away.
You other three?
I guess Gambit and John are just kind of looking at each other like, oh, what just happened? Or at least that's what...
Yeah, I mean... Yeah. Was I around for that fight that is at issue?
No, I was right when I was joining.
It was before you. It was before you, Gambit.
It was right before, but the resolution to it happened in the Truth Circle.
That's fair.
That solidified my place in the party.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't quite get you, Grand, here. You asked for an explanation. Thicket gave it to you, and then you kept at it. What gives there?
I'm convinced Thicket believes that he did the right thing, and maybe he did. I still want good for him, but I don't think that he approaches things fairly. I think he approaches them with a very, very narrow viewpoint, which is understandable because he's a cat of sentience with less than 2 years of life, but was raised by a tree. I mean, his whole history is strange, and I don't think that he takes that into consideration.
That
often.
seems like you're just saying because he's a cat.
Yeah, it
He's
seems like you're approaching him with a narrow view and not really
Yeah.
letting him. You're filtering all of his actions through the fact that he's a cat, and you're not looking at him because he's Thicket. When Thicket flew up, I didn't think that Thicket was abandoning us because I knew that Thicket doesn't do that. Thicket's never done that.
Yeah, you're
And
acting like Thicket is somehow less intelligent because he's a cat. He's
A
essentially a cat. You brought up the point that elves have been around for thousands of years. You haven't. Doesn't make you any smarter because of your heritage.
No, you're absolutely right.
So, I mean, Thicket has a different viewpoint. He's 2
And
feet tall, for goodness sake.
yeah, and I don't think it's fair for you to say that you'll never understand him. I don't think it's impossible.
Maybe you're right.
It seems like you've given up trying to understand him.
That's what it sounded like. You weren't attempting to understand. You were complaining that you couldn't understand, and that he had a very different viewpoint, and you're acting like you're not even trying to understand.
Yeah.
You're complaining that you have a problem, but offering no solution.
I mean, I thought my solution was pretty clear. Let's communicate, and he seemed on board with that, and that's where we can start. Sometimes there's friction, right? And you have to push through that to see how it goes. I don't think that we are in the position to know exactly how that's going to all play out at this immediate moment. Sometimes things take time. But the reality is, and maybe I'm the oddball. Fine. Okay. But a sentient cat is still a sentient cat. A sentient cat of less than 2 years is still a sentient cat of less than 2 years. I think that being exceptionally accepting of that is great if you can. I don't follow that to the same degree, and that's where I'm at. I have never. Here's the thing. I have never outright attacked Thicket. Period. I have never abandoned Thicket. Period. If he feels like I have, then I hope that he will tell me. I think that I told him previously, and I think that it was pretty clear that I thought that there was a possibility that it could happen again, because that's what I felt had happened. He did not interpret that as, okay, let me correct that, let him know that that's not true and that wasn't what happened, and let me fix that. He took it as defensive, and he was offended, and instead of trying to, fix that from my perspective, he was worried about his, which is okay. He's allowed to do that, but that doesn't mean that I'm immediately going to be like, yep, no problem. And I think that that's unrealistic. Sometimes people have different opinions, different perspectives, and that's okay. It's how they work them out.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I'm trying, and maybe it's not sufficient to you or your understanding. He looks at both of them. But it's what I'm trying to do. And either that's enough or it's not. And again, we can deal with that. So be it. The thing, maybe you guys are absolutely fine with a sentient cat of less than 2 years. It's still something I'm trying to wrap my head around. And if that's not okay with you, then be patient with me or don't. Your choice.
I think, Grunt, we've been with each other for a long time.
I know, months.
I think also when I try to wrap my head around things, that's usually like me processing it. So when I'm processing, I'm usually not speaking. So I don't know if your way of wrapping your head around it is any different, but it seems like you haven't been processing it.
I'm trying to process all the things, Doug. I really am. I'm trying to process who you are and how you operate and why it seems like you have a very strange approach to life, in my opinion. Trying to figure that out.
Maybe that's part of the issue is like we're all different, so you trying to understand why we do what we do, maybe that's driving you, or I don't know, maybe that's like maybe you're just either overthinking or thinking about things that probably you'll never understand. So like maybe like you were saying, accepting that, or Thicket accepting that, he's a sentient 2-year-old cat, like maybe you should accept the fact that we are different than you, so you shouldn't be trying to analyze why we do what we do and just accept it.
Well, that would be great if that was my ability, but that's not. I like to understand things. I like to try to decipher and sort. And whether that's right or wrong, that is who I am. And so, as part of that, that includes trying to figure out everyone. I feel like I understand Gambit the most, and maybe Gambit's not happy with me right now, and that's okay. That doesn't change my opinion of my thinking that at least I understand Gambit. I don't really feel like I understand John very much. I feel like I understand you less. I feel like I relatively understand Thicket, but then Thicket does things that I don't understand, and that confuses me. And so, yeah, if I get worried, I express my worry. It's unfortunate that it came out in such a way that he received it as passive aggressive. That was not the hope. The hope was to be like, hey, I've noticed that you've seemed worried that that's going to happen. And I want to let you know that's not what happened the first time. Why do you think it did? I would have loved that conversation. The problem is we don't always communicate everything perfectly every time 100%. If we did, there would be no conflict or issue. But at times there is. And I believe it is the measure of a person, how much they're willing to push through all of that. You know, in my case, being willing to work with people for months after one of them attacked me, after one of them was relative stranger compared to others, because Gambit did not have the message of, hey, come, you're a specially selected person, come do this heroic thing for us. And then another person who ended up collapsing a building on me. I feel like I have been relatively patient and understanding. Maybe people don't think that, and that's okay. They can think that. Point is, I'm still trying to work things out.
So you're still hung up on the past.
I mean, you can look at it however you want to look at it. I look at it as everything that we do matters. If that's what you think about me, that's what you think about me. That's your choice, Gambit. I look at it as all of these things are simultaneously true. A good thing that you do, Gambit, does not nullify a bad thing that you do. And a bad thing that you do does not nullify a good thing that you do. You are the sum of all of these things. You are the sum of all of the good things that you do and all of the bad things that you do and the person that you are. And as I try to decipher that and understand that, that allows me to either, appreciate you better or otherwise. Part of my understanding of way of doing those things is to provide for people that I care for something that I think can maybe fit a minor detriment that they might have. For Doug, it was a ranged opportunity, a chance to strike at the flying, right, as you just saw. Now, he didn't even end up using the bow that I got for him. He used the sword that he found after we defeated that person. Okay? Your armor, maybe it saved you on one of those attacks. Maybe not. Point is, that's how I approach things. Again, I'm willing to be patient and work through things. And it feels like nobody's willing to understand that maybe the way that I do things is not the way that they do things. And therefore, okay, let's fix it around.
I feel like the point is there's a lot of points in your direction, and like we're understanding what you're saying. Like, I think it's pretty clear what your points are now that you've expressed them multiple times. And maybe one or two that I didn't catch the first time you were saying it, I caught after you said it again. I think the fact that we understand what your points are, but the fact that you are failing to understand how our points differ than yours is, I think, the issue here. So I think Thicket understood what your points were, and I think you understood what Thicket's points were because Thicket expressed them. I think because Thicket answered it in a way that wasn't acceptable to you because that's not how you would do it. So yeah, I don't think it's the fact that we're not understanding people's points. Maybe it's the fact that we're not understanding the method upon which people act or react, because we're trying to view it as, oh, I wouldn't do it this way. I think maybe that's more of the issue, is we're not understanding why we all can't do the same thing.
Well, either you're smarter than all of us, or I have no idea what you're saying. But I will say that I think the thicket has a level of conceptualization that eludes me.
But
And
that's also assuming that Thicket is always perceptive of you in general. When Thicket, is perceiving usually people that we are just meeting and is telling you what, he thinks of them. And, Thicket is always perceiving like around us, but Thicket might not be perceiving you at the same time, because why would Thicket need to perceive you when there's so many other things to worry about?
I don't know. It's good questions. No idea. Is it sufficient to say that I have gone through quite a bit over the last few days, and that maybe, just maybe, a little bit of understanding may be involved? Maybe not.
Yeah,
Or,
Grund, I do understand you. However, I don't think being in a bad mood gives you means that we can let you slide with belittling what Thicket does.
Okay. Well, again, apologies to you, and hopefully to Thicket whenever he's ready to hear all that. Not trying to belittle anything. Not understanding. If it comes out that way, I will try to work on how that plays about. But I will say this. If it's always let's protect the small little cat and the cat can't do no wrong, then it's not going to make a difference how I feel. Because that's what it seems like right now. Just, everybody wants to communicate. We're going to try to communicate. If it's, hey, you know what? Garon has been through a bit. Maybe one of us, because there's 3 of us against Garon right now. Maybe one of us can go talk to Thicket. Like, hey, did you ever think? Like, maybe you could, but it's fine. Everybody wants to come at me. Okay, so be it.
But there's a big difference.
I realize that's unbalanced, but it's whatever. The point is, if I'm trying to work with you guys and I don't understand, and I'm still trying to push through it anyway when I don't understand, I believe, I'm convinced that says a lot. Right?
Yes, I hear you, Grind, but we're trying to push through and understand with you too. We hear that you're trying to push through and understand with us, but we're trying to do the same thing that you are in this conversation.
See, okay, I know I'm not standing right there, but I just have a quick comment. You're like saying that Garand is willing to continue moving forward even though he doesn't understand what's happening. What we're saying is that we want you to ask so that you do understand what's happening. We don't want you to move forward if you don't understand. We want you to ask.
And maybe he'll get to that. But again.
I do want to, comment out of character. Just to be clear, there is an element of not on Chris, because Chris, I think you understand in a large way what the other characters are saying, but it's that Garon in particular is having a hard time getting his head around stuff.
Maybe there's the fact that people aren't understanding. Garon has an 8 wisdom. That's the equivalent of basically he's partially retarded when it comes to being able to understand things.
But he is
so here's the thing.
You shouldn't say that word.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Okay. I'm not offended by that word. I think that it's okay to be disabled in some way. I don't think that's a problem, but that's fine. He is moderately disabled. He is below average when it comes to being able to understand people, things, and stuff. So, however that works. So at the end of the day, he's, he's going to try to push through as best that he can. But again, anyway, it seems like this is getting like not into a good place. So let's try to figure out like maybe how to make it that. Maybe there's, I don't know, a break. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But
Maybe we should all just take time to rest and sleep on it.
yeah,
I don't know. What do you think, Micah?
I don't know if that was the question was real life. Come back to the conversation next week, which is fine by me as well.
I think
Or
we've
in
stepped out of
character.
character for the time being.
Okay. I think that's fair, and we're about getting to the end of the night, so I think if it's all right with the stream sign, we're gonna go ahead and end the recording and stream here. You know, do the, and this is a highly thing I recommend for D&D groups in general is, you know, make sure you talk and all understand, you know, out of game things and what to expect, and especially during highly emotional in-character moments that you talk through things that no one at the table feels negative towards each other. And we'll see you next week. Stream. Bye-bye.